Dean of Portland Community College Karen Sanders says contact tracers are crucial if we want to stop the spread of COVID-19. Contact tracers call infected people and ask them questions about their lives over the last few weeks, details like where they've been and with who. The contact tracers then call those people to warn them and ask them to quarantine. Sanders says right now there are 2 full classes.
The training is 6 modules. It's fully online, and the participants have 2 weeks to complete those 6 modules.
Sanders says the Oregon Health Authority gave the college a Zoom training developed for contact tracers. The college also received guidelines from the CDC. Part of the program involves developing scripts contact tracers will use when they call people.
A lot of the curriculum is around explicit and implicit bias, and making sure that when you talk with people, you're providing them with the information and you're not judging or making recommendations sort of from your perspective.
David Cuevas is a contact tracer for the Multnomah County Health Department. He says you have to adjust the information to fit the individual.
A lot of people come from different cultures, different languages, so different ages, make sure, what the information that we give to somebody that is in the 70s is different than somebody is in their 20s, trying to, like I said, adjust this recipe.
Cuevas says sometimes it's hard to ask someone to stay home in quarantine.
For them, because, some people have a lot of big families, they have to work, so, it's challenging to ask somebody to stay home. Yeah.
PCC's classes are open to the public. The dean encourages anyone bilingual to consider taking the class.
Not all of the people that you connect with who've been exposed to COVID-19 are fluent English speakers.
And Brenda, after you complete the class, the college will point you in the direction of a job. And right now there's a waiting list to get into the next class.